Hey, it's Joy, and this is the Joy of Neurodiversity podcast. Here we break down stereotypes, celebrate the brilliance of different minds, and get real about what it actually means to be neurodivergent. Because at the heart of it all, neurodiversity isn't just a concept, it's people. It's lived experiences, challenges, strengths, and the stories that connect us. Whether you're here to learn, feel seen, or reimagine what's possible, you're in the right place. By pressing play, you're choosing to embrace a new way of thinking, one that honors every brain for what it brings. So settle in, get comfortable, and let's dive into today's episode. Okay. I'm having one of those moments when I'm genuinely sitting here thinking, how are we halfway through season 2 of The Joy of Neurodiversity? It seems a little bit unreal to say it out loud. This week, I'm not coming to you with the full episode, and that's intentional. As we head towards the end of the year, I just wanted to pause before jumping into the next conversation and simply say thank you. We started this journey 9 months ago, and when I look back at everything that's happened since then, it's hard to take in, but in the absolutely best way. Before diving into the rest of the season, the podcast team and I just needed a moment to pause. So here I am, a little bit more raw than usual, but just here to share some gratitude. If you are here for the first time, I'm Joy Buckner. I am the host of the Joy of Neurodiversity. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you've been here for a while, thank you for coming along for this ride and for allowing this deep, raspy Jessica Rabbit voice, as my brother likes to call it, to come into your space every other week. This podcast is for neurodivergent minds, but it's also for parents, for educators, partners, leaders, advocates. It's for everyone. A lot of people listening don't identify as neurodivergent, and I love that. You don't need a diagnosis to be here. You don't need perfect language. You don't need anything like that. You just need curiosity and care. It's always been a learning space. It's how I designed it, and it's why I love it. When I think about this podcast, I think about how it started and how it's grown. Season 1 was very much about storytelling, about lived experience, about finally giving language to things so many neurodivergent people have been carrying quietly for years. And that hasn't gone anywhere. Story will always sit at the center of this space. But as we moved into season 2, something changed, something shifted a bit. We're still centering lived experiences, but we're also bringing in people who are doing the work, people who are studying this, teaching this, changing systems, and changing narratives. This season, we've been talking about advocacy, not just awareness, but real advocacy that brings knowledge, insight, and support into classrooms, into homes, and into communities. We've talked about the work that's being done in Africa and beyond. This podcast is global, and I'm so excited to share that. We've explored how the brain works and how learning actually happens. We've talked about executive function, about learning skills, and about what neurodivergent minds need in order to function, to regulate, and to thrive. We've talked about tools like visual imagery and mindset work because a calm mind is a learning mind. We've talked about practical ways to support neurodivergent learners and adults, not just in theory, but in real life. So yes, this is still a place of stories, but it's also becoming a space where stories and science meet, where advocacy meets action, where validation meets strategy, where people don't just feel seen, they leave with language, with insight, with tangible ways to support neurodivergent minds, including their own. So if you've missed an episode or two, this is actually a really good time to go back and explore. And there's a lot worth going and sitting with, and I hope that you will. As we move into 2026, I've been thinking a lot about what this community represents. This podcast exists because diversity of mind is not something to fix or to manage. It's what makes this world work. Different ways of thinking, processing, learning, and experiencing the world are not problems. They are the reason we have creativity, innovation, empathy, and progress. We spend so much time asking people to squeeze themselves into narrow ideas of what's normal instead of designing schools, systems, and communities that reflect how humans actually think. A world where difference isn't something you have to explain or defend is simply part of being human. So let's look ahead a little bit. If I'm going to be honest, the first part of the season has been a little bit female forward, a bit of a hen party. Not going to lie. The second half of the season is about widening that circle a little bit and bringing some masculine energy into this room. I'll be bringing the male perspectives that are often missing from these conversations. We'll continue to center lived experiences, real stories that are told honestly. Absolutely. But we're going to be bringing some more experts who are actively working in the space to affect change, people who are translating research, practice, and advocacy into something that actually helps. And of course, there are always going to be those stories that come to the podcast, the kind that make you pause, reflect, and maybe see yourself or someone you love a little differently. And I'm so excited to say that we'll be wrapping up this season by taking the conversation off the mic and onto a stage live at one of the biggest educational conferences in the world. It's going to be the same heart, just a wider conversation. So stay tuned for more information about that. But before I leave you today, thank you so much for being part of this community, for spending your time here, for sharing, for commenting, and just sending me all of your energy. It means more to me than you could possibly know. And with that, have an amazing holiday season. I hope you spend it with loved ones. And I will see you in the new year. Bye. And that's a wrap for this episode of The Joy of Neurodiversity. I hope today's conversation left you feeling inspired, empowered, and seen. Remember, neurodiversity isn't something to fix, it's something to celebrate. If you loved this episode, don't forget to follow, subscribe, and leave a review. It truly helps more people find this space of understanding and joy. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast. And let's keep the conversation going. Connect with me on Instagram at The Joy of Neurodiversity and LinkedIn at Joy Buckner. And share your thoughts using the hashtag The Joy of Neurodiversity. New episodes drop every other Thursday, so be sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next dose of neurospicy brilliance, deep dives, and empowering conversations. Until next time, embrace who you are, celebrate how you think, and keep rewriting the narrative because the world needs your brilliance. Think big, be bold, and never dim your neurodivergent spark because we were never meant to fit in.